Hi everyone, I'm Isis Lowery, former Australian gymnast and All-American gymnast from Oregon State University. I feel like a lot of gymnasts have a similar story. I was a very energetic kid. My parents were like, what do we do with all of this energy? So when I was really young, I went to some like Mummy and Me classes, and from there they realized that I really did enjoy like moving around. I was climbing on stuff, swinging around, all of that stuff. I never really listened to anything that the instructors were saying when I was really little because I used to get bored and I just wanted to do like all the fun stuff. So when I was about 5, I started doing rec gymnastics, and I was actually doing basketball a little bit at the same time. So when we eventually moved state, my parents were like, okay, you have to pick either gymnastics or basketball. And I love gymnastics. For me, I just felt like it was a better fit. So when I was about 7 years old, I started officially, and I was really committed to it. I started competing around 8. And ever since then, I realized that I wanted to go to the Olympics, and that was going to be my ultimate goal. And I was working really hard towards that. I started training elite when I was about 10 years old. And then when I got to around 17, it was like my senior year of high school, I was like, I think I really want to take this seriously and try to go to college. And I was really fortunate. I was able to do a few USA tours with my club gym when I was in like 7th and 8th grade. And from there I got to do a few visits to some schools, and I was like, yeah, I think I could do this. So it's a little different when you don't live in the United States. So having been born and raised in Australia, we actually don't have anything like college sports. So we have universities that we can go to and study, but we're not usually traveling away from our hometown. We usually do it really close to home and commute. So we would just drive to school and come back. But for me, I remember watching NCAA on TV, and my dad was like, I recorded some gymnastics for you. And I was watching it and I was like, I want to do that. Like the celebrations, the hair, the Leos, like everything was just bigger and bolder, and it looked like they were just having so much fun. And for me, that was something that was really important because gymnastics is a really fun sport. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to, if I was going to continue to do gymnastics, I wanted to make sure I was just having the most fun I could have. So yeah, coming to college was a really new experience for me, and I'm grateful that I had a lot of great resources and support from a lot of the staff and student athletes at Oregon State. It's a really cool experience for international students, so if you've ever been curious, definitely reach out, do your research, and see if there's a school out there that will be a good fit for you, because I can almost guarantee that you're going to learn so many new things. Being in a different country, far away from home, can be a little bit scary, but your teammates really, you bond with them for life in such a special way, so I wouldn't regret it for anything. I think the biggest difference between gymnastics in Australia and America is that here there's just a lot more opportunities. In Australia, if you didn't go elite and you weren't trying to make it to the Olympics and World Championships and Commonwealth Games that we have the opportunity to compete in, it sometimes can feel like, well, what's my other options, right? If you don't just want to stay at level 10 forever and you don't want to go to the Olympics, it's like, where do I go? So in America, you have the awesome opportunity to be able to go to college, and I think that's really exciting. And there's D1 schools, D2 schools, D3 schools, like there's schools all over the country, hundreds of them, that you can choose from and figure out where the best fit is for you. So I think that piece is really exciting. And also competitions are a lot bigger. I think in college, a lot of you may have already seen, like there's thousands of people at the crowds, you're running out of tunnels, you're high-fiving everyone. It's just a really exciting atmosphere in college that you don't always get to experience everywhere else. I think a lot of the lessons I learned in gymnastics really prepared me to, be brave and courageous and move across the world to a new country. My dad's American, so I had family in different parts of the States, but not where I was going to school. So I'd been to America before, but again, I've never lived there, and I didn't really know what to expect. But for me, I adjusted really well, and I'm really grateful that I had a really close team of girls that I could bond with, and I had really supportive coaches as well. So I feel like as soon as I got to Oregon State, I feel like I had met an extended family, which is really exciting. And especially when you're so far from home, you want to make sure that you have people that you can connect to and, grow with and be with. Because, it gets hard sometimes, and it definitely helps having FaceTime and things like that, so I could still, talk to my family and friends back home while I was away. But definitely grateful for the support. And it was just, there was so much excitement happening for me. And, at 19, I had graduated school a year earlier. I took a gap year from school. I was trying to figure out, do I want to try to continue doing elite back home in Australia? Do I want to go to college? I was really confused and I didn't quite know. So I took a year off to figure it out. And sometimes when you take a year off, things can be really hard because all I was focusing on was gymnastics and nothing else. And sometimes you can get burnt out when you do that. So by the time I came to college, I had fallen back in love with the sport again because of the environment I was in. So it worked out to be a really positive experience for me, and I'm really grateful for that. I think the biggest culture shock for me was maybe the food. I think I had a lot of, like, just the snacks. Like in Australia, we call them lollies. Like any candy is called like a lolly. So just not having like the same candy I would have and chocolate and lollies and things like that. One of my favorite foods is a meat pie, and that's like Australian. So when I got here, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have a meat pie. So that was like a little thing, but I thought it was really cool because it's just like so diverse here. Like so many people from different countries, walks of life, everyone looks different. Like it's a really cool experience, and I think growing up I didn't see that as much. So again, I had a lot of different teammates from different countries on my team, different parts of America, the world. So all of us coming together to share our one passion and love for gymnastics was really special. I think it can be hard for international students or international gymnasts that want to come out to the States because we just don't have the same exposure. In America, you can do a lot of camps, you can go to, if the University of Alabama is having a gymnastics camp, you can fly and go there. Whereas in Australia, you can't really fly or like 20 hours to come over and do that. So I think really making sure that you're utilizing social media, doing your research on the schools you're interested in. That was something that I did. I literally Googled like NCAA gymnastics teams and found 25 schools, and I was like, okay, I want to go here, here, and here. I went to their website, I found the coach's email, I found the other coach's emails, and then I was really just emailing them, introducing myself, and also sending them clips of me training, but also competition videos. Because again, in college, you compete a lot. So while it's awesome if you have 1,000 skills that you're training in the gym, they also want to know what you can compete and how you can compete as well. So definitely making sure that you have a big folder of all of your gymnastics videos, or if you have a second Instagram that's for gymnastics, and really making sure that you get that out there and push it to as many people as you can. And work really hard in school, because when you're a student athlete, student comes first. So you have to make sure that you're getting your grades up as well. That's also really important. And that was something that I didn't think about, because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to school to do gymnastics. But you're busy because you're a full-time student as well. So it's really important that you make sure you're applying yourself and getting your grades up there. Usually gymnasts don't have as many issues with that. It all worked out in my favor, and I'm really grateful for a lot of the opportunities I had, and I ended up coming to Oregon State, loved it, had the best 4 years of my life, met some of my bestest friends, had amazing coaches, and was really just able to finish my career on a really positive note.